Just to recap a little of the detail there are 4 areas that are getting worse. The 19 key indicators, 11 improving, 4 on track. So 11 improving, 4 on track, and 4 getting worse. Sadly, among the 4 getting worse are children development and suicide rates. Let's bring in Liberal Senator for Tasmania, Jonathon Duniam. Senator, thanks for your time. A lot to talk about. We want to talk about the Environmental Defender's Office. That's in your patch, but just on closing the gap, sadly, some of those indicators and some important one, like kids' development, like suicide rates, like imprisonment, all going backwards still.
Yeah, and look, there wouldn't be an Australian out there that sees those indicators and says, oh, well, who cares, don't worry about it. Everyone wants to see an improvement to the welfare of every single Australian, particularly kids, and especially those from marginalised communities. And so really this is where the rubber hits the road. Last year we spent a lot of time and money talking about this voice and sending Australians to a referendum. Now, my argument at the time was that that wasn't going to address any of the things we're seeing now. Proper, well thought through, collaborative policy measures in conjunction with those local communities is what's needed. They know what they need best, and we need to be supporting them and funding those measures in a way that suits their communities. They know best on country.
It's also an area where there is bipartisanship largely, isn't there? While the mechanism of the voice and all of that was bitterly contested, when it comes to trying to close the gap, that's something that's had basically unanimous support across the major parties.
Yeah, absolutely.
Continues to.
Indeed, to this very day, it continues to be something that across the parliament you're going to have virtually unanimous support for. As a country, through our federation, we want to make sure whether you live in the most remote community or in a built-up CBD area, you have the best opportunities in life. Sadly, these numbers bear out that isn't the case. And so we have to address those. Closing the gap is a good reminder. Now it is up to all of us in this building, starting with the government, but including the opposition and other parties, to address those problems with proper reforms.
Let's look at a few other issues. As I said, you're a Tasmanian, proud Tasmanian, and it looks like there will be an election, although the Premier, we're told, won't be going to the Governor today, won't be calling it today, but he clearly wants more certainty for his government in the Tasmanian Parliament. Is that your sense of where we're heading?
Yeah, well, in fact, it's a sentiment expressed by most in the community. They just want a government, a parliament, to operate with stability and certainty. They elect a certain group of people who notionally represent certain parties at the election to get on and do what they promised to do at the election. What we've had, though, sadly, is a range of changes, including 2 Liberal members go to the crossbench. Now, they have not provided stability, and as a result, we are looking like we'll head to an election. I know the Premier doesn't want to go to one, and most Tasmanians don't want one, but because of this arrangement, because of the situation we're in, it looks like that's what's going to happen at some point, but I'd love it if it could be avoided.
But he wants a bit of clarity. We will see what transpires over coming days. On to the Environmental Defender's Office. You and I have had a number of discussions about the EDO, as it's known. You want the review that's being undertaken by the department into the EDO to be expanded. What exactly do you want to see from Tanya Plibersek and the government?
Well, we've been belling the cat on this for nearly 2 years now. When the government offers money to an organisation which is known for its activist interventions, standing in the way of projects that we need to have energy security, to grow our economy, to create jobs and keep them in regional communities in particular, why would a government be giving that finite resource, taxpayers' money, to an organisation like that?
Well, they were the subject of recent, very strong criticism by a federal court judge as well in relation to a Northern Territory project.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, almost in terms of my understanding of federal court judgments, I've not seen anything like it as a student of law. That judge, Justice Natalie Charlesworth, did not mince words, castigating them for fabricating evidence, coaching witnesses, being loose with the truth and scientific evidence, so-called scientific evidence they provided. This organisation do need a root and branch review. They've misrepresented traditional owners. They have not taken into account their views. The government needs to get serious about this. They've got a milestone payment coming up in April. If this review isn't completed by then, they should not pay a cent to that organisation. We've made our position clear, and that is no money for the EDO, and I reckon it's where the government should end up.
Senator Duniam, we'll stay in touch. Appreciate it.
Thanks.